My name is Mike Turner. I'm Austin Police Department Sergeant with the Crisis Intervention Team, and I've been with the department like 21 years. Been with CIT for, I guess, about 3.5 years. When I was a young officer back in the late 80s, we did not have a CIT team, and our officers were not trained to handle mental health patients. That's where we relied upon Travis County Sheriff's Department. They did all our CIT work for us. If we had somebody inside the city that was threatening suicide, we called them, and the faster they could get there, the better off it was for us. We could hand that person off and go back to doing other things. So we have recognized the need for the CIT team, and Travis County started training our officers back in 1999, and we've been a CIT unit ever since. We work together, we house together, we train together. Since these are civil processes, not criminal, we have no jurisdictional boundaries. My officers are allowed to go out in the county with her deputies, and the deputies can work inside the city as much as they want. We have plenty of business here in Austin, so there's no competition. And we've gone to CIT conferences before, and a lot of counties and police departments do not get along. You know, this is our area, you stay out of it. And with us in Travis County, we have no competition between the agencies. We get along really well. Like I said, our offices are right next to each other. The deputies and the officers all work together. We train together, so it's a really good thing. If you guys have counties that have city CITs and county CIT units, try to get them together because it just works so much better. Here in Austin, we do about 7,000 reports a year where we come across a mentally ill person that needs our help. So far we've done 961 involuntary commitments for the year. We normally range about, last year we did 1,251 involuntary commitments. On the average, we do about 663 voluntary commitments. So we usually commit a little over 2,000 people a year here in Austin. And one of the things that Sergeant Hicks was saying is Austin State Hospital caters to 45 counties here in Central Texas. A lot of the folks, if they are mentally ill in, say, Burnett County, will come to Austin, and a lot of times those folks will stay here. We have a lot of resources for the homeless, Salvation Army and all sorts of resources downtown, and they will stay in downtown Austin. And they become Travis County residents at that point. So every year our reports are just going up and up. A lot of them are from other counties. It was asked, what do we do when an officer gets a mental health call? We have, and that's one of the differences between Austin Police Department and Travis County is, the Austin Police Department has 6 full-time officers, myself. There's 7 of us in the unit full-time. We do all the follow-ups, a lot of transports. We will go out and take calls oftentimes. But with the population and the size of Austin is right now, we also have right now 160 certified CIT officers on patrol. In addition to their regular patrol duties, they take CIT calls, mental health calls. Travis County's got 9 full-time deputies, and if a patrol deputy needs a mental health officer, one of her deputies will go out there. I'd like to turn it into a full-time unit where we take all of them, but with 10 to 15,000 calls a year, we have to have the help with patrol officers too. So when a patrol officer gets to the scene, he will assess the whole situation. He will go over talk to the person, discuss their mental status, if they have any history, their living conditions. If that person needs to be committed right then and there, that CIT officer on patrol will take that subject against their will without a warrant and take them to professionals, which we are not psychiatrists, we're not social workers. We're trained to recognize somebody going through crisis, and we take them to professional psychiatrists, counselors, whatever they need to do. There's also a world of other resources. If the person does not need to be committed, that person can be taken to PES, our Psychiatric Emergency Services. There's also NAMI, who's wonderful. They've got a lot of resources available for not only the person, but the families, that kind of stuff. One of the things that really goes against police work, and kind of, I had to really kind of step back and kind of examine it. if you catch somebody going through a mental crisis that commits a minor crime, we are now teaching officers to take that in consideration and trying to get them not to book that person in jail if we can help it. That person may need to go to a mental facility first to get treated before they go to jail. Now, things real serious, we had a homicide a few years ago with a music teacher, and that person obviously had to go to jail. Then there's also a process set up in the jail. They can do the 46B, transfer them to Vernon, where it's a secure facility. So they can go to jail, and they can still get the help they need for their mental problems if that's what it needs. But we're trying to get the smaller crimes, like a mentally ill person goes into a convenience store and lays down by the coolers to stay cool during the summer. They can be put in jail for trespass. Well, we're trying to get the officers to look at the big picture and not take that person to the jail. Take that person to a mental facility instead. And that way they don't get involved. The person doesn't get involved in the criminal courts, and the courts in the jail doesn't have somebody else to deal with. As far as training for officers go, every cadet since, 8, 9 years ago, every cadet goes through our academy, gets a 40-hour class on mental health. We just got finished with every peace officer in the state of Texas had to go through the 16-hour TCLOS last year. TCLOS requirements, the TCLOS is our licensing. In order for APD officers to become a CIT officer, they have to go through an additional 40-hour class. So we do quite a bit of training. And all this has come about for APD since 1999. So it's just now getting to be 10 years old with the department, and especially here in Austin, how long have we been dealing with mentally ill people? Decades, back since Congress was a dirt road. So one of the big things we also teach the officers, and I think this has really helped in the use of force, which is a major issue with law enforcement, we teach de-escalation skills. And that is, we can go and recognize somebody going through a crisis because of their mental illness and talk to them. Normally, if you yell at a police officer, the officer's going to yell a little louder. We're trying to take everybody to the opposite now. If it's obvious the person is going through a crisis and they yell at you, you bring your voice down a little bit lower. We try not to use any force if we can get away with it. Sometimes we do have to grab them or whatever. But we're teaching them now to de-escalate. Don't yell back at them. Talk a little quieter, talk a little calmer. It seems to be working for a lot of our mental cases that we have to deal with every day. That's really about it. The biggest things, like I said, are the de-escalation skills we're doing nowadays, and trying to keep people out of courts is something that we've really turned the tide on. 20 years ago when I became a police officer, if you catch somebody doing wrong, they go to jail. I don't care what their mental status is, that kind of stuff. And we're really trying to turn the tides around, which is really helping out in the courts and the big picture of things.